If you want to be my friend, you'd better go and get a pen. Maybe we can keep in touch.
Maybe we can keep in touch.
We did in the old days.
Like they did.
It wasn't so long ago. Oh. I wish you well. Oh, sign your pen pals.
Sign your pen pals.
Patrick Keenan of the Winter Sounds, folks. You're listening to the Pen Pals Podcast.
Keenan
with Gaggle Gals and Rory.
Two front names.
Scovel.
Two front names.
Two front names. Frontman names.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick and Keenan. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us here on Pen Pals Podcast on iHeartMedia via Big Money Players.
Beep, 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 beep. That was for
There's always a chance that someone's brand new to the show, and just in case let's say you just popped in, you just clicked this episode, and you wanted to see what the fuck is this show. Let me just tell you something right now.
Tell 'em.
We are worth your fucking time. I know it for a goddamn fact, because I've been in it for 5 years. We've been 5 years.
And you know what? If you're hearing this for the first time,
if you're hearing it for the first time, listen up.
You'd be like, what kind of fucking idiots would go this hard at promoting their show? Well,
people that know it's worth it.
Yeah, it's either worth it or they're morons.
We're morons.
Or
both. A little bit of both. A little bit of both. But we are worth your fucking time. So if you are here to listen and go, this came up on my Apple thing, I'm just going to check it out. Well, fuck it. You're here, and so are we. So fucking go through this with us and get to the end of it and then go, I don't know. Or go, oh my God, I love it. You want to know something? People like this show so much, they go back and listen to every episode we've ever done. People that are listening to me say this right now are going, yeah, I'm one of those people. I did that.
Yeah, I'm a paler.
Yeah, I'm a paler. I do it. I'm a Patroni. Like,
whoa, that's deep.
That's a deep. And you'll get to, that's the thing. You'll get to know more about us the longer we get to know each other.
Don't worry about the cult aspect right now.
So right now, if you're like, I don't know, this guy seems desperate and beggy. I want you to know something.
We are.
If you don't like that and you want to leave, no one's stopping you.
Yeah.
No one's stopping you.
You're not in the cult yet.
But if you're like, you know what, I kind of want to listen to two guys that maybe give heartfelt responses that are comedic to serious and sometimes comical topics. This is exactly what that fucking show is. Yeah. So stick around and just listen to two cackling idiots try to make your day a little bit better. That's our fucking goal. That's all we're trying to do.
You know what I'll say real quick?
You say it.
If you've been listening for a long time and you love it, I don't know if you know this. Some people have been writing us in. They're like, I know that you guys didn't have ads for a long time and now you do, but I was so used to not having them. Okay, guess what?
I get it.
Right through the Apple podcast app, you can... I think it's like $5 a month.
Yeah,
you can get ad-free. But not even just us ad-free. You get all of Big Money Players.
All of Big Money Players, all of their shows, ad-free.
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 And then over on the Patreon, it just stays the same. It's still only $5, and that's if you want to hear follow-up letters.
$5, that's follow-up letters. We're having a good time. That's all this is.
For all you people who already love us, first of all, we love you too. It's your podcast.
Yeah.
We just yap about it.
But let me tell you something we haven't said in a long time. If you like this show, like you are listening right now, and you say, I like this show, we're not here to ask you for money. We're not here to ask you for anything other than one thing. There's one thing we want to ask you to do.
And that's money. Oh, no.
That is money. We want you to tell people that you like this show. The off chance that maybe they will listen to this show. Yeah. Because the survival of this show and the quality of this show is 100% entrenched in word of mouth. We can do all the promotions all over the place.
We can sell these Mickey Mantle cards.
We can do these ads all over the place. But the reality is, if you like something, tell someone you like it, see if they start listening to it, and it grows our numbers. Hashtag grow the show.
Yeah.
Are people doing hashtags? I don't want to.
I don't want
Shanley to have to hear this, but are hashtags done?
I don't know.
Grow the show. Just fucking grow the show. Yeah, Shanley, you decide.
Two great things can happen.
Shanley hadn't written down a hashtag. I don't even know if he listens to the show anymore, honestly. He wrote me a thing and he said, go fuck yourself.
Well, that's negative.
That's negative. He wrote me that. And I don't know why. I don't know. We just had a falling
I'll find out. But you grow the show, two great things can happen. They love something, and now the second thing, you and them have another thing in common.
Another thing to talk about at the water cooler, whether you have those or not. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. You're listening to the Pen Pals Pod.
We'll be right back.
Let's go to the letters!
Oh, Also, if you're listening for the first time and there's some things that you're like, what? I can't figure out what's happening. You can on Friday. That's the Friday Watch Crew where all this is on YouTube.
On YouTube, you can watch these episodes if you're one of those people likes to watch.
Hi, pals.
Hey.
How do you feel about the elopement versus wedding ceremony situation? I'm very conflicted about it, just FYI. I don't have pending nuptials, and I haven't popped the question to my girlfriend. I'm just thinking ahead a bit too far. I ask because as much as I think ceremony is important to mark such a momentous occasion that hopefully bring you a lifetime of happiness, do we really need to spend a boatload of money and make the day not about us? I bet we come back to that.
I cannot wait.
That seems like what happens at weddings. The bigger, more ornate one you have, the more you needed someone else's money to make it happen, and the more you spend the day that is celebrating your loving relationship with another person, making the rounds to thank everyone for coming and generally giving the day to people who aren't the two of you. If you elope, it's cheap. You probably get to go on a baller little vacation with your partner that you will never forget, and you can always do a little informal thing later with relatives if they are offended they didn't get to share the day with the two of you. That's where I'm at. I'm not rich. My family isn't rich. So if we were to have a wedding, it wouldn't be a big thing. But my upper Midwest brain would still feel bad asking people to fly and spend money to be there. And I can't shake the feeling that having a wedding adds stress that I just feel like doesn't need to be there. Last thing. My girlfriend was married before, and she didn't get a proposal or wedding, so I know it is important to her to have that experience. I could end this letter right now. Yeah. So I hope we find a middle ground when the time comes. P.S. Thank you both for being such wonderful, thoughtful, funny people. See, if you were listening to what we said up top, vouched.
Yeah, vouched.
Vouched. And this time, neither one of us wrote it. P.S. Thank you both for being such wonderful, thoughtful, funny people. I missed both of you last time you made a stop in Portland. I hope to see you both when you come back.
You don't need to spend a boatload of money. You can still have the wedding. You don't need to spend a boatload of money. If people decide
should or could,
you don't need to.
But I'm saying, should he have it?
Here's the thing, and I think maybe this.
But I like what you're saying too. I don't want to cut off your spending money part.
No, but should or could. I think that's a little bit answered when your partner maybe really does want to have a wedding. I don't think you can then go, well, we're not going to have a wedding. I think if your partner's saying they want to have a wedding, and you go, maybe we can find a middle ground. To me, that middle ground is let's have the wedding and let's not financially kill ourselves to pull it off.
Agreed,
and
completely.
It is very, and to bring it back to my first thing I was going into, you can do that. You can have a very affordable wedding. What you have to do is take your brain away from what everyone perceives weddings to be and the point of it and what it even is, and just remind yourself that, yes, you're professing your commitment to each other through your vows and through the ceremony, but realistically, you are bringing in, a lot or a little amount of people to have food and beverages and music. And what else is like that?
So
all parties. Yep. You are throwing
Rory.
a party.
I
and a party can be $100,000.
I could have taken this one off.
Party
and I don't
can
say
be
that begrudgingly.
$2,000.
I say that with faith in you.
So when you go, oh, well, where do we do it? You can rent venues for very cheap. You do not have to go down the normal road of what should it look like.
There's some bar whose party room is way bigger than they need it to be, and they're just like, I don't know, $300, we'll give you the room. I mean, can people still come get their drinks here at the bar? You go, yep.
Spend your money on good food. I'm not saying that that's cheap.
We differ a little there, but I don't hate it.
But good food. Don't skimp on the food. Don't skimp. What, you think skimp on the food?
I think it goes alcohol, music, food.
I think food comes before alcohol or before. Honestly, I'm not gonna say I think food comes first, because I have been to weddings that have booze and they've got music and the food was shitty, and you're like, oh.
I guess by now with music, music just means rent a couple big speakers.
So excessive.
So I guess it does go. Liquor is top. It's liquor, but I'll tell you this, a really quick thing. You could tell everybody, hey, we're fine if you cut down the gift a little bit. We want everybody to bring their favorite wine or liquor, And and then we'll take home whatever. Then people are like, oh, this is my favorite tequila, and that's the bar.
Yes,
I don't know. You get creative.
That's what I think. People think there's this posh element of a wedding, and I think people go, that's a good wedding is that pomp and circumstance and that like. Very
a good
posh,
wedding is love and a party. That's what
it's a part. It's
and
really
love.
just going. This is us. So rent that gym. Rent that
a VFW. Rent an Elks.
Yes.
Rent an Elks.
Yes. And you will go, oh my God, the ambiance in here is fucking great. And you go, yes, everyone just wants to park their car, go in, watch the ceremony. Sure, you're making them. That they want to fucking eat, drink, and dance. Those are the 3 activities everyone is there for. And when you go, you're about to have the best party ever. There's the booze, there's the food, there's the and when I say food, keep in mind, go food truck. Go have somebody run to McDonald's and buy a fuck ton of Big Macs. I mean, you're talking about people going, this is like I've been to weddings where they literally just made it work on the dollar and you were like, this is awesome. This is fucking great. They did a taco. Not even a taco truck. They literally just did a taco buffet. Things that aren't going to like cost an arm and a leg in terms of the catering that you can see at these expensive events. You do not have to live in that world. A wedding is whatever you want it to be. It can be whatever you want for the ceremony. It can be whatever you want. None of it is based in religion anyways. You have to go register with the state and get a fucking marriage license for it to count towards the main reason of doing it is for tax fucking purposes. So you have to go do that anyways. The actual day where people are showing up, sure, you're in, however you do it, whatever your religion is or not a religion, you're going to do it however you do it. But there isn't any specific rule
Can I ask you a question?
to it. Just do it. Do whatever you want. We could do a wedding in here right now if Lissa was legally worked for the state. Like she could go,
state, yeah.
You could go, she has signed it and it's happened. All we need, you and I get married, all we need is fucking 2 witnesses. And then it can happen in this room.
Dude, I'll marry you.
That's why I wrote this fake letter.
The whole letter, every episode.
That's why I started this podcast and wrote and finally got finally I waited for you to pick this letter.
Dude, am I crazy? Am I crazy saying? And I've never heard anybody doing this. I don't know if Liz has. I don't know if you have. Am I crazy for saying you?
Don't
especially if it's a small town, but maybe even if it's probably a big one would be harder because they're running all day. But am I crazy for saying? Ask the movie theater if you can rent it out for 2 hours at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon because they don't have any showings until 5 or 6 or whatever, and you just do the ceremony.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
There's all the seats.
You can do anything
you want. There's the area up front.
It
usually has good acoustics, and you just go. If people are like, "You're getting married at the movie theater?" Yeah, we're getting at the movie theater, and then down the street is where we just have at the Elks Lodge.
I can throw some tips in here. Down the street, make sure that distance from wherever you have the ceremony to the reception is not a drive.
Don't make it a
or
drive. Super negligible.
Just go. It's either at the place they're already at, or it's next door, or it's down the street.
See,
that's what you want.
What you said when somebody's trying to do all the things and doesn't have enough money to throw at every problem.
You don't need to do all.
So they're like, well, we could get this space because we want to do it all.
Yeah.
So we can get this space, but then the place where we can do the ceremony is all the way over here. But we need the thing, and so maybe step back and go. Well, what if we didn't make ourselves do all these things?
Yes.
Because we don't have the money to throw at the space next to this or the ceremony next to the space. So you're trying to this side of town and people are like, all right, we're going to Uber from there to this. And then we're going to, Yeah, you try to get those close together.
If you have a destination wedding, keep in mind it is hard as fuck. If your guests cannot understand that they do not need to bring the gift to the wedding, you have to then get them to your house.
If you're doing a destination,
you do a registry. Maybe people buy and they send it to where you live. That is convenient. But a table of gifts at your wedding, while being great and while some of it being very expensive, you got to now ship that. So that's something to keep in mind. And also, don't forget to hire somebody to take care of the gifts at the end of the night. You are going to be wildly distracted doing your own thing. If there's any cleanup that you need done, you got to pick a friend that you're going to throw money to and count on and go, I need you to put all of these gifts in your truck and I'll get them tomorrow.
But you got
to handle shit like that.
We both agree eloping versus your possible fiance saying, I want a wedding is a pretty easy pick.
Oh, that's easy.
Right.
You got to do the wedding.
You got to do it.
But you don't have to spend an arm and a leg.
Dude.
The middle ground is actually you going, actually, I kind of like this. This would be fun. It will be fun.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What do? You and I are getting married. Okay. You're doing it because you know I want it.
Yep.
And now we are getting married, so that's happening. You've proposed.
Yeah.
And you agree that if I want a traditional ceremony and I walk down the aisle, but now I want to find a way to do all the things and check all the boxes and have the ice sculpture and the centerpieces and the seat covers, and you want to do it, not all that. How do you reconcile that? Like, is the fear that, like, I know she wants it and I want to give it to her, or he wants it and I want to give it to him?
No.
But I want to do it for like cheap and fun as possible.
Yeah.
So but by agreeing to give it to her, I now have to fight about the money.
I don't think so.
I'm saying, what do you do in that scenario?
Oh, I would feel betrayed if we said, hey, we're going to have an affordable wedding, and then halfway through that person goes, actually, I do want the ice sculpture. I go, well, now you've changed who you are on the original deal.
So you're saying before you propose, you lock it down that, like, that if we do get, I want a ceremony. But okay,
yeah.
If we do get married, though, we agree we're going to do it on the cheap and the fun. And we'll have a huge bar, but it's going to be supplied by us, and we're going to pay somebody $500 to do it. So you're saying you agree to that before you even propose?
No. I mean, look, you're going to propose, and then you might not even get married for like a year, maybe 2, maybe more. I mean, I think if you are proposing, then you have to go into that knowing that you have decided to commit your life to someone that you can easily have these conversations with.
You'd hope.
If you are saying, will you marry me? And I know that when we go to talk about this first hurdle, it's going to be insane because you want this and I want that. Then you have to go, well, have you dated long enough to build a foundation to where that would not be a difficult conversation? Like, and those are conversations you also have about having children.
But both of us have
where
friends.
You want to live. Like,
both of us have friends on the wedding day. We were like, this soul.
I mean,
looking at about 2 years here.
I think some people don't do. I don't think it's because they want to. Maybe they just don't know what the work is. But if you haven't had very open, honest conversations about where you want to live, having children, growing a family,
how many,
buying a home, living in the country, living in the city, living in the state, living away from your parents or her parents.
Yeah, because I think some people make the mistake of we'll talk about it when those things come up.
If you and I met in Chicago, it's like, well, I kind of thought we'd stay in Chicago because my family's in Rochelle. Well, I thought we'd move back to South Carolina because my family's in South Carolina. Like, if you haven't had these conversations and you're going into it knowing that feelings can change and things that you want can change. You and I have a kid, and then suddenly it's like, oh, but it would be great if my family, like, things change. Maybe I did say I want to live in Chicago. Maybe now I got a kid and I go, I don't like Chicago for us as a family. Like, these
Can I say something really quick? Because my attitude is, like, if you marry me, you just so you know, you're spending every Christmas in Rochelle.
See, that's
just so you know,
that's something. That is something right there. That's a thing. That's a thing right there.
I mean it.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yeah, but my family. I go, I understand that. But the role that I play in my family, I'm sorry. It's just not going to be Christmas in Rochelle for me or my family if I'm not there.
Yeah. So then that person goes, well, every Thanksgiving we go where my family is.
And I'll go, okay. And my family is going to have to deal with that.
Yeah. And that's, this is an example of these are the things that
and I wouldn't want that because I
you
also
don't want to get married and then
Thanksgiving in Rochelle. I've missed 2 my entire life.
But but the point is, you don't want to get married and then find this out.
Agreed.
You don't want agreed. And that's why we come to an agreement. You don't want to find this out after you get married. So to me,
#agreed.
To me, the conversation about a wedding, I don't think the giant, expensive, ornate weddings like those. There is
Let's
a
have
world
something
where
that looks out of style in 15 years.
I've been to those. And you can have a good time if you're like, hey, I was able to get some food. I got some booze. We hung out.
And you know what?
All of them can work.
But you know what the best you get out of people, even though you're the one who fucking paid all that fucking tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. And do you want to spend $80,000, $90,000, $120,000 to have people go, that was nice.
Yeah. You don't have. The reality is you don't have to spend that. Those weddings can be fun and great. That is not what has to happen for a wedding to be fun and great. It can be, but you don't have to have it. You can get around the music for $0. You can get kegs. You can go to Trader Joe's and get a ton of fucking red and white wine. Mm-hmm. You can
how much does it
go get a little bit of liquor. You can get your friend to do it. Who goes, I'm not going to charge you. I'm your fucking friend. I'm at the wedding. That you can do those things, and then you step back and go, all right, actually this didn't kill us. And honestly, you don't want to step into your marriage with a financial burden of recouping what you just put together.
Question for you.
And also, and I say this because you might go, well, it actually doesn't matter because traditionally the bride's parents pay for it, and I happen to be marrying into a family that likes the tradition of saying, yes, we will be the ones paying for the wedding, and if it costs $50,000, we're going to put up the money and we're going to have the wedding. You are also now at the disposal of choices that they decide to make with the money that they're spending on your wedding. So you can also spend nothing, but you might not get to be the creative director of how it's going to go, and that depends on the personality. There's some people that go, Daniel, here's $50,000. I don't give a fuck what you do with it. Then there's people that go, Daniel, it's my $50,000. So you will be having ice sculptures.
Yeah.
And then Daniel goes, yes, sir, because what are you going to do?
Right.
I'm paying for your wedding.
Right.
So there's
and
those
we're the type of people
elements
that would rather have no money than somebody gave me 50 and tells me what to do.
Jordan's parents are not like this at all. They would not have been like, this is what you have to do. But Jordan and I specifically waited till we had the money to not be a financial burden to anyone, to go, we have the money. We're going to pay for our own wedding. We're going to do it the way we want to do it.
I have two questions for you before we leave.
Okay.
And I'll give you my answer and yours, but I want to ask them too.
And
You're
then I have one thing I want
Lissa's
to say.
Corner.
Okay.
Lissa's Corner on the Patreon.
I can wait.
I'm joking. I want to hear it. You can answer this too. When you say, do it on the cheap, do it low. And it's okay. And you can say, you can speak in the average. And I don't want you to speak to yourself right now because this isn't you when you got married.
Yeah.
How much money are you talking about? And do you want me to go first? Do you want to go last? Because I don't want you to feel any sort of like.
I don't feel because what
But
I
when you
spent,
think of this guy doing it the way you said, because my other question for you, if you want to save it or answer it, is when you say spend it on money, how would you do really good food really cheap?
Yeah.
But I don't know what your budget is when you say like a really low budget, just do it your fucking selves money. How much money are you talking about?
I think you could throw a really you can even go less.
Remember,
than
I
this.
have Rochelle, which is going to skew because Rochelle is you can do it so cheap.
Well, now you got to think about the whole country,
right.
and
I know, but
countries.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I want to know what I think. I want to know what you think.
You can throw. This is even still high, but
when you think about,
I would say this is low.
Talking to him, doing it with her,
you could do it amazingly for $5,000, and that's still. If you go, well, I don't even want to do it for $5,000. I would go. You could still do it very well for like $2,000. The reality is you're not going to not spend money, but
and it's going to add up quicker than you think, even on the cheap.
It adds
and
up
you and I are very
quick.
synced up because I was going to say $3,000.
But you've got to go. What is your non-traditional venue? You've got to call in favors from friends. And
are you going to do the ceremony and the reception at the Elks Lodge?
I think you do it at the same place.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to have people.
But that's how you and I can get to three.
Exactly.
And I think so too.
But
and
you
that's
go to
our new
Elks
show.
Lodge, but also
Newly Lads.
When you say I'm going to get a food truck usually is a certain charge.
2 hours, 3 hours.
Usually,
you know this. I don't know.
You can get it for like 2 hours, but
would
usually
you go
it's like, oh yeah, well we'll make enough food that's for 150 people. You're probably inviting that or less. If you're trying to keep it on the cheap,
hey,
you're definitely not like, I'm inviting 200 people. That's
I don't know.
insane.
I'd say if you could do it if you're doing it Rochelle style, and I'm going to do it on somebody's farmland in the summer, and I got the Elks Lodge as a backup in case it rains, you might buy 100, 150 people because it's all going to be a party anyway. And
but I'm saying that factors
that wedding
into,
registry and money is going to be way higher than what you spent.
That factors into money that you would get from a food truck. I know everything I'm saying right now is.
But what's a food
like,
truck for 2 hours? They probably have a minimum too, right? Like you're like, hey, just for us to come out and go, we don't. You can't rent us for a half hour. We do a minimum 2 hour rental.
$1,200 you could do it.
Okay, wow. So we're almost half our money.
But I mean, also you can be more. Okay. But I'm saying, and I know that no one's sitting there going, oh yeah, I want a food truck. Oh yeah, I want to do it at the VFW.
But a good food truck is good food. You're saying?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, that's when you're everyone who shows up is like fuck.
Because
they're not sitting there going, oh wait, I wanted this elegant meal. If you're like, look, we're not serving the elegant meal. We don't have the money to do the elegant meal. Then it's like, literally, if someone walked, the ceremony just ended. You can get your cocktails, you can get your beer, and yes, that's going to be expensive. That always is. But like I said, you do kegs, there's ways around to keep it cheaper.
Because I can't do.
But if people are going around getting a beer and everyone's and someone starts walking through with trays of quarter pounders wrapped up, and somebody goes through with French fries, and you go,
that counts.
No, our hors d'oeuvres are McDonald's. You would go,
Oh, I thought it was dinner.
Yeah, I'll take a fucking quarter pounder. Yes, you would start drinking beer going, and I'm not joking.
So this counts as you
there
hitting
were people
the mark for good
there were
food
people
for
that
you.
would sit there going, this wedding is disgusting. Those people exist.
Get out of here.
If I was throwing that, I know most people who don't even eat McDonald's would sit there and go, this is maybe the best wedding I've ever been to. And I don't even want to eat McDonald's right now. But you go, but you are. And you're sitting there going, oh, wow. And then you go, yeah, so now we're going to kick it in. We're going to start dancing. You're going to be drunk. You're going to work up another appetite. Round 2,
I'm curious.
we got a food truck. It's outside. You just walk out there. They'll make you tacos. We got veggie tacos. We got meat. We got chicken, whatever, beef. You go out there. You can fix it up, do the taco.
And you might
That's
be
not going to kill you on the cost.
Yeah, and you might be all in at this point for $1,500, $1,700. That'll cover.
It might be more, but at the same time.
But I'm just saying, that could cover your truck and
it
cover your.
It doesn't have to be $10,000.
Do you guys have you heard of girl math?
Yes,
No.
of
This
course.
is guy math.
I just
What you
posted
guys
about.
are
We're going
doing
too
is
low.
Guy math. Yeah, girls justify lavish purchases by explaining.
I just did this to
Yeah.
somebody in
We're
my
doing the
family.
opposite.
Somebody in
Yeah.
my family wanted something, and they go, "It's just, and maybe they get government assistance for stuff, or whatever it is. They're like, but even then, it's going to cost me like $280." And I go, you're using it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Divide
if
that
we
by
divide that by
365.
It's like your
year,
bed. It's like a bed.
if we, I know, bed, couch, TV,
worth it.
refrigerator,
It's worth it.
oven,
It's worth it.
washer, dryer, if you want to. You spend the money.
It's worth it.
Spend the money.
Water pressure. Get a good shower head.
Yeah.
But this is
Oh, do I want this $60 shower head or I want this $10 shower head? Get the $6 shower head.
Yeah.
This is not.
You're talking about a quarter of a penny over
Yeah.
the course of a year.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
well,
Liz?
it just keeps. It's just you're like like $3,000 to $4,000, probably all in $1,500. Like
Well, in
but
our
we
world,
can
no,
get
it
out
goes
like $800
no,
or
it goes the other way.
$900.
I go, all right, this sweater's $150.
Yeah.
If I wear it 10 times this year, that's $15
Yeah.
of time. That would I spend $15 when I'm getting ready to have something I love to put on? Yes. So basically, I'm spending $15 for this.
Yeah.
And actually, I probably would wear this on stage. So
Yeah.
now I'm actually getting paid for this sweater. Like
yeah.
now I've made
That's
money.
girl math.
I've
That's
made
girl
money
math.
buying this sweater.
Yeah.
That's girl math. Guy math is undercutting the
cost?
Yeah, and
The
not
lowballing
factoring
it?
in
Yeah.
the dress
Well, that's why.
alone.
But yeah, and I think we said we would get to 3,000 way faster than you
Mm-hmm.
think. But if you start out with food and liquor, and you go, all right, that's 3,000. So then you say to yourself, are you willing to do $700 more for the dress? And then after that, who would let us who's a friend that has a bar owner? Who is a principal of a school that would let us use the gym?
Not that this is the case for everybody, but I wouldn't factor the dress cost in. I mean, a lot of times that's the bride's family or a grandmother.
But
Or someone
some
always
people
like,
might
I'm
here's-
buying a dress. Like that's always the thing.
okay.
I wouldn't.
Sure.
I wouldn't.
But
I wouldn't
otherwise,
assume
but
that.
it could be like, here's the money we have, and
Yes.
I need a dress for this wedding.
Also, keep in mind if you've agreed on this one venue, and let's say it's a VFW, and let's say you're going to be partying it out, you might not be going into the traditional route of getting a traditional dress that's going to cost you a lot of fucking money. You might be like, well, actually, if this is the vibe. I mean, some people do a Halloween-themed wedding, and it's not even fucking Halloween. I don't know if you've seen the post on Instagram, but it's a couple threw a Halloween party for their friends and family and decided once they arrived to let them know they're actually at their wedding.
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
then everybody there was at a wedding in
Dressed up.
insane costumes, and then they also wore costumes,
Oh, God,
and they
I
got
love
married,
that.
and they go. Anyways, this is like, look, my response was exactly the way yours is. I know you're feeling the same thing. Most people that are level-headed, they don't go, well, that's a fucking gross wedding. Most people go, oh, that's a fucking cool idea. And that literally, they sit there going, yeah. So anyways, the overhead on the clothes where I pulled this out of the package. It was $20 and hers was $30. And so $50, those were our clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, yes. And no one is sitting there of your friends and family who are fucking chill as fuck. But, you couldn't get in if you didn't wear a costume. So everyone wore a costume. But everyone chill as fuck shows up and you go, you're actually at our wedding. And everyone thought they were going to a party anyways. They all were probably in costumes going, this is the greatest fucking idea I've ever. I can't believe I'm at a wedding. Oh, did you bring a gift? No. And the couple was able to avert gift shit. And everyone afterwards could go,
And you know what else?
Hey, you know what? We didn't even know where they're going to their wedding. Call them up. Tell them we're getting them. We're going to
And
send
you know
them
what else,
$400. We're going to get them a blender. We're going to do a
No
thing.
one came expecting dinner.
Exactly.
And so with the two food scenarios you gave earlier, you only need one.
Yes.
Because no one came expecting dinner. So
we did
3-4 hours in is when you have.
We did a meal at ours, and then
party.
halfway through dancing, we had little sliders come out on a tray because
That's
everyone's, you're physically dancing. You're gonna get hungry.
A little carb, a
Again,
little protein.
You're drinking a lot. You're peeing a lot. Yeah. Anyways, we get out of here. This letter's going too long.
I want to go so fast on this because we haven't talked about the elopement option, and I wanted to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Because if
we just got hung up once she said she wanted a ceremony.
Right. So if it really is about wanting a ceremony and having to like penny pinch or like worried about the cost of things, then I think everything that was said was right. There are also ways to do elopement that can be like so special. And like people that I know, she has a high power job where she's coordinating stuff and planning stuff all the time. And the last thing she wanted to do was deal with planning a wedding and finding all the stuff and coordinating with vendors and
then you know what, like if you're in Chicago, you just tell everybody, hey, New Year's Eve we're going to this bar, that's going to be the party to celebrate that we got married. It's $30 a person, all you can drink. They do that in Chicago all the time. It's $30 a person, all you can drink all night. The bar is huge, and just please get there at 7 because then we will get all the space to ourselves. And if we're there till midnight, we're there till midnight.
So they stress out too about people, like they would have been stressed out about people coming in for the wedding and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't want to deal with it, so they decided to elope. They went to Italy. They put all the money they would have put into a wedding.
Roulette.
They hired a videographer who shot the most stunning video of them getting ready and elope it, just the two of them with like someone officiating. It is the most beautiful video I've ever seen. And they came back and they told everyone what bar they were going to be at if people want to come celebrate that they got married. And that was it.
Yeah,
and now they
that.
have this like incredible video that I like. I mean, it's so dreamy, and they get to keep that forever. And they got to avoid all the stuff that really stressed them out. So I think there are ways to make elopement incredibly special and romantic, and to not exclude your friends and family from it, because everyone else gets to watch that video and see that video too. And no one is sitting there being, even their families weren't like, God, I wish we could have been there. They were like, whoa, that is so special. So I wanted to throw that out there because I think that I don't think it should necessarily be off the table if it's something.
I think elopement can be really special
about.
Between two people. Just make sure it's 100% what both of you want to do.
Yeah. Exactly.
Daniel, you got this?
I did?
You read it, I think.
Okay. Person who said pals and PS. We don't have your name, and that's okay. Elope debater. We thank you for sending this in, and we wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk,
Rory Van Scovel. And we're back.
Hey, huggins and plugins, attorneys at law.
I have some shows at the end of November. I'm going to be in Austin and Dallas, 29th.
What
Austin.
date is this?
This is going to be November
15th. I think
15th.
it's the 15th.
This is the 15th. And I'm in Austin. I'm going to be in Dallas. I'm going to be in Oklahoma City. And then that's going to be it for tour dates for the year. Go to roryscovel.com. And if you're in Los Angeles and you're looking for a show to go to, I think I have 2 shows I'm going to do at Elysian at some point in December, just messing around. So come on down. Daniel?
December 14th, I'll be at Cap City Comedy Club. Go to danielbankirk.com and be on the lookout for more Rose Gold tour dates. I'm probably going to go to the Pacific Northwest and just regions I haven't been to yet.
Yeah.
So go to my website or go to social media or, just let me know that you want me to come to your city. All right? If enough people do it, I'll go.
DanielVanKirk.com.
Let's go.
Ooh, to our pen pals from PGH.
Oh, this was handed to me.
Paul Gomes Henderson, the director. Okay. That's
now
not going to be
you read
good.
it all out of order.
Okay.
But that's when I learned to bite people. You're like, where are we at in this letter?
I think this is right.
You're like Nicolas Cage, dude. We should get him on the show.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Could you imagine?
Greetings once again, oh mighty cult leaders and the lovely Lissa. In true Gaggle Gal fashion, we have procrastinated writing this letter as we are literally in the car driving to see Daniel doing stand-up in our cherished hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hey-o. We also wrote a letter 2 hours prior to seeing Rory perform in D.C. a little over a year ago, but he never came outside after the late show for us to give it to him. The crowd was kind of rowdy, we get it. That letter subject is now null and void. This brings us to the obvious subject at hand, procrastination and being late. Our mom's family is notoriously late for most family functions, which we both have inherited. We both also tend to procrastinate, which has yielded positive and negative outcomes. Our main question is, are we too optimistic with our time, or are we just rude as hell? As we try to better ourselves, what suggestions might you have so we aren't total assholes? This trait isn't something we're proud of. Isn't something we're proud of. Parking now for the show. Is that right?
No.
That is all that's left.
Let me see. Okay, I trust
This trait isn't something we're proud of. Parking now for the show. Oh yeah, that is.
Yep.
Parking now for the show. We're excited. We wish you well. Love your Gaggle Gals, Caitlin and Christina Bordini. You can say our names.
Are you late? You're not late.
I don't like to be. Excuse me.
You didn't choose to do it.
I know, but I want to be excused, and you have yet to do that.
I feel it is not needed.
Because you feel it's rude. I am a stickler about time. I'm a stickler about punctuation, definitely for myself. If I'm going to be late, even for something I don't even care that much about, it gets to me. Mm-hmm. I often arrive way too early for things. I stupidly still believe that comedy shows started on time, and they don't.
Too.
And I still think it.
They used to.
I don't go. They should.
Don't you think they used to?
I don't know if they ever did, but I don't show up going. They should.
Did Meltdown start on time? Yes.
Did it? I don't remember.
I don't remember it starting late.
I don't remember. But nothing is like 8 o'clock. And you know what? There's also a little wiggle room. Like if
8:07 is not the same as 8:27.
Look, you want the truth?
Literally.
I'll give you if it's an 8 o'clock show, I'll give you 8:15. But that's in the world of entertainment. That's as much as I can do.
If we want it on time, that's not on time.
Here's the thing.
I'll say still on time.
If I got a show that starts at 7
8:10.
and the doors were at 6 and people arrived at 6, I think about those people that arrived at 6. So when they go, I think we're going to start around 7:30. I go, no, we're not. We're starting at 7:15 at the latest.
What do you do when they give you this? And they're like, oh, no, what do you want to do, 7:25? We still have 22 people that haven't checked in yet.
Well, if it's a show, one, if it's a club show, that's insane. But if it's a theater show, I go, well, I have 2 comics going on before me.
Think.
I don't want them to go up to people sitting down.
But that's also kind of the job.
That's just what it is. The show tonight, if we're doing a theater, the show tonight is me. And I'm not trying to be a dick or arrogant, but if people are going to come and sit down, that's just what's going to happen.
Because there are some people who go, well, the show's at 8, but Rory's not going to be on stage till 8:40,
exactly.
So we're fine.
There's no getting around it. And I don't like punishing the people that showed up at 6. Should they get there at 6? It's a little too early. But those are fans who said, I'm going to get there when the doors open because I want a good seat. I want to get a beer. And so I go, I'm no different than those people. So I want to make them happy because I'm similar to them. I would have also gotten here probably too early to make sure everything is going to work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I got to say, and Daniel and I kind of hinted on this, I don't think it's something that you necessarily inherit in your DNA. If you go, look, we're always late.
But nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
But again,
it's in
not
the
DNA.
Nurture. It's in the nurture space of, if that's just kind of how your family has operated, then that's how
because you think about it. If you're a kid
you operate.
And you go, we're going to be late.
Yeah.
And for age 4 to 16, you were told, it's fine.
Yes.
Who cares?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, if they're mad at us, we'll just leave, right? And so you kind of get conditioned that it doesn't matter that you're late. It
doesn't matter.
And it's on them if they're mad at you about
yes.
Now, I think that can be instilled.
Yeah. Gaggle Gals, I love you to death. You know that. But a little tiny F2F, for me personally, I think it's rude. I'm one of those people that's
but the crazy thing is the Gaggle Gals were so on time for my show.
I know. I think you maybe are more on time than you think.
Yeah, some people's late is fast. Some people's late is 2 minutes. Other people's late is, oh, sorry, I missed the movie.
And I will say this, if you're late all the time, just know you might be in a circle of friends that are talking about it. And you maybe don't know about it.
Oh, well, no maybe about it. There's people,
or you know about it.
There's
and you've
people
been
telling you that the party or the dinner is a half hour sooner than it is because
you're probably getting lied to.
They're judging the wind with you.
They are factoring. If I'm going to take this pitching wedge, I got to start it out to the left because that wind's going to take it 20 yards to the right.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I mean, look, my stepmother was not great at being ready for things on time.
Stressful.
My wife can oftentimes be like, "What?" I mean. Literally just last night, we were going to something, and I had said as early as 2:40, oh, well, we got 2 hours till we got to leave because we're leaving at 4:40. And then 3 o'clock came around, and I go, hour and 40 left because this is how I am. We get to 4 o'clock, I go, we're leaving in about 40 minutes. My wife is in the shower. I go into the bathroom and I go, you mean to tell me you're ready to walk out the door in 9 minutes? And she goes, 9 minutes? And I go, I said we're leaving at 4:40. Oh. And she goes, the water then immediately turns off.
Leave her.
I've thought about it. She turns the water off, gets out and starts to get ready. And so we leave about 5 minutes later than planned.
Oh, that's pretty fast.
Because she knows I go crazy. And I literally go,
I'm credit to her.
I know.
14 minutes?
I know, because she knows I go crazy. So she's like, oh, better throw this on because he's going to go crazy. I literally am like, I don't understand how you're getting into the shower when you're getting into the shower. I don't understand how long you're in the shower. Are you not thinking in your mind, how much time do I need to get ready? For instance, when Daniel goes, Rory, we're leaving at 4:40. The moment that Daniel says that to the group or to just me, I immediately go, I want to shave. I want to shower. I want to shit. I want to get dressed. And I know now I don't really know what I'm going to wear. So I think I'm going to start getting ready at 4 o'clock. And now here's me. This is who I am. My brain goes, 4 o'clock's probably enough a little too early to get ready. And then the other half of my brain goes, and with that extra time, we're going to make ourselves an old-fashioned, sit in the living room while listening to jazz, finish that drink, rinse it in the sink, and walk out the door at 4:40. And I go, you got it, self. I high-five myself, and at 4 o'clock, because I want that celebratory moment, at 4 o'clock, I'm in the shower.
Rory,
I'm in the shower at 4 o'clock.
It's even deeper. I do this. You don't want to let tomorrow Rory down because you want tomorrow Rory to have that old-fashioned and to be relaxed and feel good, ready to go out for the night. And you are prioritizing the needs of future you.
That's right.
And I think a lot of times I do this as a real exercise. I will say to myself, do I want to let down? Or do I, maybe in a positive sense, do I want to make future me happy?
Yeah.
And when I think about it that way, I tend to do a lot more self-healthy, self-beneficial things. Yeah. Because I think of the person tomorrow who's me and what they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Is it a empty tank of gas? You know, that I could have just gotten out even though I'm tired, but tomorrow me is going to be so happy with past Daniel.
Yeah.
And you're doing that. I think maybe it's a showtime. You and I think have done a lot of times where I'm at the hotel or whatever, and I'm like, I guess I'll just go to the venue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because listen, I've talked about this. I had a time where I realized to myself, what am I waiting to call an Uber for?
Yeah.
I might as well
just go
do this sitting around at the airport
with less stress.
Right.
Yeah.
Because people think, what is the most efficient time for getting to the airport and getting on?
Exactly.
Right. And we do that. We've done it through TSA PreCheck. We do it through Clear. All those things. But when I'm like flying back from Kansas City to here.
Yeah.
And I go to myself, I could probably get to the airport 55 minutes before my flight, and I'm fine. But if I'm going to sit around the hotel room anyway,
I
might as well go do it at a place
that
has a lot of good people watching, a restaurant, I don't need to leave for 45 minutes, but might as well go sit there.
Just go.
Melissa taught me that because she's very like, I'm going to go here early and work.
Yeah.
Because I'm just doing this at my house anyway.
Yes.
And there, you guys have lounges.
Yes.
So that's a whole other deal for you two.
I also, it's another benefit of staying in a hotel that's got a good bar lobby, like lobby bar, because...
Well, we did that all at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you just go down, you have like a little drink, like... Look, I'm off drinking now, so it's I love what I'm talking about and wish I could be doing it. But it is a benefit if you're like, oh yeah, I'm just sitting in my room. It's like go down and sit at the hotel lobby bar and like kill time down there. But
because worst case scenario,
to me,
hey, I'm not going to make that drink. I got a call that I had to do. It ended up taking an hour.
Yes.
So now my drink time got replaced with
factor in an
still being
unnecessary
ready
element of getting ready and
always
factor that in. And
what
go,
is
that'll
your,
be 15
what
minutes.
is your buffer?
Great.
What is your factor time in the morning versus your factor time? Like if you say we are leaving for our vacation road trip tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Up too early, and I'm often like ready to go too early. And I now know that I'm like too early.
It always takes 9 minutes to leave the house.
Yes, but I mean, it literally when I know that I'm like a little too much on the early side, and I work on that, but. There's less of a problem on the early side than to be someone who's like, I'm always on the late side. It's like that's stress and anxiety and potential serious consequences.
Oh, job loss.
None of that happens if you're just too fucking early. Yeah. You maybe get, like you said, I'm at the airport too early. So then maybe you're waiting and you're a little more bored than usual. Would you rather that over rushing
Home Alone it
every fucking time? Yeah. Of course you would. You would rather go this. So
that airport running sweat.
I know.
The worst.
I've experienced it too many times. And a lot of times you experience it, it's because of a connection. Because
I
get to
an Uber.
Or an Uber.
Those early morning. Oh no, you can get Uber around 5 a.m. here, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Minneapolis.
You know what? You fuck up because in your head you go, in L.A., yeah, you can. Other cities, you cannot. Also, when people go, we have a small airport. Guess what? Usually the small airports take fucking way longer to go through security than a fucking giant airport.
Then the guy putting the bin through also has to run over and go look at the screen.
I've never seen a more, and this is funny because this is the opposite of what I just said. I've never seen a more inefficient airport than the fucking Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson airport. It is so inefficient. It's absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. It's so insane. I literally just flew home and I have TSA pre-check. So I go through TSA pre-check. We are all standing on the other side waiting for our stuff to come down. And the person is making every bag go to extra fucking check. Almost every one of them.
Was it one of those 3D scanners?
It's one of those brand new ones.
Yeah, those are the ultimate worst. If you go to Houston.
They're usually all right.
Houston pre-check, you're going to have to do this.
Yeah.
If you just did it.
Yeah.
So but I'm telling you in the future past, but future Rory will know.
Future passport. Right.
In future Rory.
Yeah.
If you go to the TSA pre-check, do not go to the one on the right. It's one of the new ones. I don't care if there's one person standing there and there's 12 at the old one.
Yeah.
The one person will still be standing there and have to go through extra screening. Yes. Always go to the left.
Literally, all the bags. It was taking forever. The woman was the TSA person who's doing the extra check on them.
And they didn't even choose
over
this.
it. They're putting it there. They're looking at the screen, and then they're just asking who it is and taking it. And she put mine up there. Look at the screen, and then she goes to hand it to me. And I go, "What was it? What made it go off?" And she goes, I don't know. And I go, "Yeah, I think we're all thinking that no one knows why this is happening."
You know what did it to me last time?
What?
Protein bars.
Yeah. C4.
And then I had one of those heated
carbohydrates
rice like heating pads.
Yeah.
And it was in my bag coming back. I had it in my backpack because I was gonna put it on the plane.
Yeah.
And I just took it out because I was like, I feel like the density and whatever. I just feel like right. So I take it out, which you also have to do with a harmonica because it looks like a mag.
Okay.
So I do that every time too when I have a harmonica with me.
Okay.
I know. And
I've never lost all trust in someone.
Right, because you didn't know I play the harmonica?
Go on. Go with your thing.
I don't play well.
No,
anyway,
I can picture that.
I took the rice bag thing. I took it out. My bag comes through. My crossbody bag comes through, right? And my luggage comes through. And then I look and the guy grabs the thing and walks it over. And I go, "Oh, it is what it looks like." And he goes, "Yes, I need to test it." And I still had...
Yeah.
I'm like... Do you think? Fine. I appreciate that. Whatever.
Yeah.
But do you think if I was a bad person, I would have taken it all the way out to go, make sure you test this?
Yeah, test it. Test it because it's bad. Caitlin, Christina, the Bordini sisters.
The Gaggle Gals.
The Gaggle Gals. If we ever come to town and do a live show and you're late, we won't even let you in.
I
won't even let you in.
I agree.
We probably will. You're in. In fact, come whenever you want. I backed out on every threat. I love this letter. I love talking about the idea of procrastination and what it is in general. We didn't even touch on that.
It's so stressful.
This was all just late, not procrastination. So that's a whole other
can
topic
I ask you really quick?
that
Just
maybe
yes or,
shows up in the Patreon.
Just yes or no, and write us about it. We will talk more about it. If you have a script due or a treatment,
yeah.
do you wait till last minute on that?
I'm last minute on everything.
So you procrastinate, but you're timely.
Yes.
We'll talk more about it if it gets
more to be heard on Pen Pals with Daniel Van Kirk.
If Bordini was a food, she wouldn't like it.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, it's Italian, right?
What did you want to say something about eloping?
No, I just wanted to shout out Caitlin for all her work she does with us. She's so helpful and great. And
you know what? On time.
And very timely.
That's why I think she doesn't fully understand.
Well, no, that's procrastination. She's doing work on time. It's her being timely.
Yeah, but she said she procrastinates.
I want to get a shout out. And they came to the Pennsylvania show. The Pennsylvania show, as with others, was connected to, set up by Mr. Will Hancock in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And so much of the run that I did through October was Will Hancock connecting me with people and saying, hey, I'm connecting with Daniel Van Kirk. You're going to want him to come perform. And so many people and places and connections that I made where I went to was thanks to Will Hancock, because he's the friend you want to have. A great guy. So
he's the friend you want to have. You heard it here first on the Pen Pals Pod with Dana Van Kirk and Rory Scovel. We wish you well. Sincerely, Rory Van Scovel.
Oh, I was almost late.
Sincerely, your Pen Pals, Rory Van Scovel.
And Daniel Van Kirk.
Give me 1 sec.
Guys, give her 1 sec, please.
Give me one reason to stay here.
And I'll turn it right back around.
Right back around.